Welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs Podcast. This is your host, Dan. This is the midweek special bonus episode. Today's July 8th, 2021. The topic today will be town team baseball, in particular, Waconia Lakers. And I'm titling this episode Down the Stretch. Now, the amateur baseball stretch, the stretch run is on. Here's the updated standings. Conference. Win-loss record in the conference only. And so that show that Carver is leading the South with Plato and North Young America close behind. In the North, Waconia's got it wrapped up. They already clinched the North Division. They're undefeated so far, 15-0. They have a 6.5 game lead over the Red Devils of Watertown. Now, they've already clinched the North. They've clinched the number one seed in the region when the region starts. Now, when I say down the stretch, check out the remaining games. That July 6th game against Mayer, that was rained out. Game was rained out. They're going to replay that one. And then next up is July 8th tonight. That 7:30 game versus the St. Louis Pirates. That is really the St. Louis Park Pirates. St. Louis Park. Now that should be a good game. The reason being, St. Louis Park is 24-5. 24-5. They are ranked number 4 in Class A. In the Class A rankings, ranked number 4. They are good. One of the reasons they're good this year, they picked up a pitcher by the name of Chris Odegaard. Now, listeners of the show may remember the name Chris Odegaard from his many years playing with the Plato Blue Jays in the Crow River Valley League, leading the team to a couple of state titles in Class C. Dominant pitcher and hitter in the Crow River. He left a couple of years ago. Plato hasn't been that good. Now they're making a resurgence. But now they're with St. Louis Park. And so this could be a very interesting game tonight. Not sure if he's going to be pitching or not. He was the Mankato State Maverick player, was drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Went on to pitch 3 seasons in the minors for the Diamondbacks. Came out, played very, very tough amateur baseball for many years. He's been around. He's 34 years old right now. We'll see how that team does to follow in the postseason for St. Louis Park. Odegaard's always tough. Now he's 34 years old, which means I'm guessing it might be a safe bet that teams in the Federal League, over 35 men's baseball league, are heavily recruiting him for next season to get him on the squad. Wouldn't that be a treat? Now, then they play St. Bonnie. Loretto is following. This July 14th game versus Loretto could also be interesting because of the players on this Loretto team. 3 players on the roster for Loretto have the last name of Koskie. One is the former twin Corey Koskie. Corey Koskie spent 7 years with the Twins. His kids are now grown up and graduated college from Providence Academy. And so there's 3 Koskies on that team, Corey and his 2 sons. You may want to pick up this game. Loretto's got a pretty good team. It'll be fun to watch the Loretto Larks in action with some of the talent they've got there. Corey Koskie homered last night in the amateur game up there in Loretto. Had a home run. He's pretty much DHing for that Loretto Larks team. Now the son Bradley's on the team. He is currently in, I think he's finished his 2nd year with St. John's. He's playing baseball as an outfielder for St. John's University up north. Now, their other son, Joshua, Corey's son Joshua, just finished Providence Academy. He is committed to go to Augustana next year and play with the Vikings. Now, that Augustana team is very, very good. They won that national title a couple of years ago. They're coached by Belle Plaine native Tim Huber. Tim Huber plays in the over 35 men's league for the Belle Plaine Gray Tigers. So he's going to be, that'll be fun to watch there to see how Joshua does in Augustana. Bradley continuing his education there at St. John's. Corey Koskie, all playing for the Loretto Larks. They're in Class C. That game, July 14th, should be pretty good. Now, rounding out the season, the July 16th game against the Mudcats should be very good. Prior Lake Mudcats went to the state last year, state Class C tournament, had a couple of good games there. They advanced, I think, to the Sweet 16, or maybe even the Elite 8, I am not sure. They always have a good team. They're coached by a gentleman that plays on my over 50 baseball team down in St. Patrick. Now, rounding out the season, they finish with 2 Crow River Valley games against basically, Green Isle and Winsted are always tough, but win-loss record this year, if we look at the standings, Green Isle and Winsted, they're the bottom 2 teams. The worst team in the South and the worst team in the North Division. I got a feeling they should win those games, and you may see a bunch of subs in that action before they kick off the Region 7C tournament. Once again, this should be good. These final games here. Now, Waconia Lakers once again won that Tiger Town Classic. Here's a photo in Belle Plaine, and I like to watch their non-conference games that they play, the non-conference. Their only loss being that game against Chaska Cubs, which is a Class B team. And once again, we get to see Loretto here next week, which is Class C. We get to see St. Louis Park Class A team. So some of these non-conference games are pretty good. Lakers currently 20-1, ranked number 1 in all of Class C. That's the home stretch coming up here. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram for sports and songs. Catch us on YouTube. Also, Sunday mornings on Anchor on the podcast. We can be reached on all these locations. We do our weekly show with my co-host Andy, but we're going to be following a lot of the games here coming up. Town ball as the season wraps up here the 3rd week of July, and playoffs will be coming up after this. Once again, my name is Dan. This is July 8th episode, Sports and Songs podcast. The Waconia Lakers heading down the stretch. Thanks for listening.